Also enhance your predictive analysis tools, because it's good at looking into large sets of data and finding out the patterns and giving you insight. What you naturally will spend days and weeks doing, it can literally do it in seconds. So that also gives you time to focus on a lot more strategic activities that you have to work on. AI can also help you to accelerate creativity in terms of providing the right solution, coming up with the right solution or ideas to problem statements that you're working on in your teams. It can help you come up with test scenarios or prototypes that can help you to validate whether the solution you're proposing is the right one or you need to make some changes. Also helps you to improve your stakeholder communication, generate the right level of communication to the right level of stakeholders that you've identified, and also tells you what sort of information that is required and how frequently you need to communicate with them. It can help you do all of this without you actually flinching an eye. It can help you to manage stakeholders' expectation, looking into what is important to them, where their pain points are, and using that to actually step up your game in identifying what's the right thing to do for them. And it can help you to automate a lot of your routine tasks, things around generating reports, managing data or analyzing data on a day-to-day basis. It can do that for you so that you can actually focus more on strategic work. So now coming to how to craft generative AI prompts. I said earlier that Gen AI works by you providing an input, and then it transforms that input into some form of output. That input, in this case, is what we call prompts, or more like the way you question the AI so that you get some response for it. And the response is more like the output that you use, to carry out your day-to-day work. Constructing a great prompt requires a skill that you also need to build on a day-to-day basis. So it's not something that you get over the night. And in the course of my career, I've been able to come up with these 6 building blocks that will help you to craft the best prompt, depending on the situation, the scenario, or the context that you're working on. So you've got the task description, the role, the boundaries, the context, specific requirements, and reasoning. And you don't really necessarily have to use all the 6 building blocks at the same time. Pretty much, you can start with 2 or 3, and then, depending on the output or the response that the Gen AI gives you, you can start to add other building blocks to it or refine your prompts appropriately to be able to get to your desired output. So let me start with the basic. Yes, I call it basic, but it's still good prompts. And that only uses 2 building blocks. That's giving it a task description and setting the context. The template is just do this and this after because of this and this. And let us have that conversation to say, yeah, why should we do this? Other people will come in with their own ideas. Why it probably should be the other way around. So again, it's like a conversation starter, not going in blind without anything to arm yourself with. Or at least you got something to start off with, and then that starts to get the team thinking on how to actually plan the delivery. So assuming you've planned all of that and you know what to focus on next, which is the next feature that you're working on, you can ask GPT to now focus on that feature. In this case, you want to focus on real-time journey updates. And says, give me all the user stories. Like the top 10, essentially, under the real-time update feature. So you have a number of stories to work on. Which again, you can also plan in terms of working on refining the stories with acceptance criteria. You can ask ChatGPT to give you the acceptance criteria, looking into different scenarios, not forgetting the negative scenarios as well. So essentially just play around with the prompts. That's what I will encourage you with. If you think that something that you want is missing, look into the question you've asked and how you can, play around with it, refine it as well. Thank you very much.
Given LLMs were designed to trick us into believing they're human rather than do generative work necessarily, do you think that LLMs are what we're going to be using in the long term, or do you think that we'll get more bespoke AI tools for business analysis or for business generative issues?
Thank you. I think the question is asking is, do we think on the long run we'll be getting bespoke AI tools, or will just be the generic ones like ChatGPT, Copilot? Well, I think it depends on the direction. That's my perspective. It depends on the direction that the organization wants to go. Like I shared earlier, there is one called Pace AI, which is bespoke to BAs and project managers and product owners. And that might be the direction that they want to go. So yeah, because of either GDPR or data privacy, we don't trust all of these open AI tools. Let's create a bespoke one for ourselves. And that's what we're going to be using. So it could be that, or it could be a case of, yeah, even though we want to adopt Copilot because we are a Microsoft organization, we still need to put in checks checks like where I work now. If you want to open a web and open Copilot, there are certain questions that you have to answer to say, yeah, I agree to this, and that, and that. And they keep on monitoring, all sort of inputs that go in there to see whether it's adhering to those or not. And if it's not, you get blocked, you get called, and you get blocked.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It's really useful for the prompt engineering. I have a question for you. I've been struggling internally myself. If I forward your slide deck to customer, stakeholders, they learn all your tricks about prompt engineering, and they're getting really good. Will they still need us? Number one. Number two is how can we, business analysts, maintain our added value if the users and customers are already using ChatGPT and generative AI? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. So, in my opinion, that translates into you being replaced as a BA, and which I mentioned that you will not be completely replaced. As a BA, you still got some innate skill set, that makes you a BA, essentially, which is that empathy, being able to put yourself in the customer's shoes. So it doesn't really matter even if the customer has got ChatGPT or whatever, but there is that thing that makes you a BA, which is different from their. You're looking at it from that perspective to say, yeah, how can I help you do this? How can I help you do that? And if the customer is using ChatGPT, for example, to solve their problem, are they going to be validating it with themselves? So it's like you're setting the question papers and you're marking it yourselves. I'm the customer, I have a problem that I think I should solve, and I'm asking ChatGPT to solve it for me, and I say, yeah, that's the right problem. But so the idea of getting to the underlying problem statement is that you're looking at it from another perspective to say, yeah, why are you looking to solve this problem? I most likely will not ask myself all those why questions when I, as a customer, is using ChatGPT to find a solution to the problem that I've created. But as a BA, you can actually help them to do that and see that, well, fine, someone that says that they need a new car just because their car didn't start that morning, and they just say, okay, fine, what's the problem? Okay, your car didn't start, it's gone broken down, what do you need? You need a new car to get you somewhere else. ChatGPT will probably tell you that. But as a BA, you can start to ask all the whys and get to the point where you discover that I've got a bad maintenance attitude because I didn't maintain my car properly. That's why it went down. So even if I get a new car now, unless I correct that underlying problem, I will keep on asking for a new car. Yes, you wanted to add something?
So if I paraphrase what you just said, our added value is in adding critical thinking,
exactly,
giving a general overview and connecting with our customer.
Exactly.
What is it that their motivations are and what do they really need? Because what they are saying that they need is not often what they need. We've all been in those requirements meetings. adding that critical thinking level, that's going to be the most important tool that you need to use in conjunction with ChatGPT or any chat.
Thank you very much. Exactly. That's